Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I wanted to seek everybody's good wishes. I'd like to welcome everybody. Thank you so much. A very important chapter today, chapter 11, the universal form. I wanted to seek your good wishes and your blessings so that we can really get in the mood of what Krishna is doing in this chapter. Now, we're not going to finish the whole chapter today because it's many verses. And we were talking, Shruti and I myself were talking yesterday, how some of the verses are very long in this. They're a little different meter. So we won't finish the whole chapter. There's no point in rushing through this because there are many themes. Let's just go through what are the basic themes in this chapter. So the chapter is called Universal Form, the Virat Rup. And the Sanskrit word rupa means form. One of the biggest theological debates is whether God has a form or not. Is he personal? Is he impersonal? Now, some argue that accepting a personal form of God amounts to limiting him. We're projecting our qualities onto him. So we're actually putting a definition on God, which you can't do. God is unlimited. So Krishna, however, he confirms in numerous passages of the Bhagavad Gita, especially in the 12th chapter, we'll see that in the next chapter, that he manifests in many ways, impersonally and personally. So he's both impersonal and personal. He's formless, but he has form as well. Now, he also categorically states that the two-handed form is his original form and the basis of the impersonal. Just like you need the sun to get the sunshine, Krishna is the basis of the unlimited, formless aspect of God. He's like the sunshine. The formless aspect is like the sunshine of the original. In this chapter, Krishna, after displaying the Vishwarup, the universal form, he reverts back to his two-handed form, explaining the significance of this form. It's a very important chapter. So the themes are, there's 5 themes. Arjuna requests Krishna to see his universal form. And he did that not to convince himself, because he's already convinced about Krishna. He's already described Krishna, opulence and absolute nature of Krishna. But it's for us so that we recognize the Supreme. Krishna then manifests this universal form to Arjuna. Now we have to understand this universal form, the Vishwarup, does not exist in the spiritual world. This Vishwarup is limited only to this world, the material world. It's not an eternal form of the Lord. It's an interesting form, but it's not an eternal form. It doesn't exist in the spiritual world. So, but it shows his greatness, his majesty. And then the third theme is Arjuna becomes very bewildered by seeing this form because he sees so many things, and we'll see that. We'll probably get through that today. And then there's 2 more themes. Krishna explains that Arjuna simply has to act as his instrument because Arjuna is seeing the Kauravas being eaten by Krishna, literally. And so Krishna is saying to him, the deed is already done. You can take the credit for it if you like. And Arjuna also, he realizes the greatness of Krishna and he asks for forgiveness for being so personal with him. And then the final is, as we already described, Krishna goes back to his two-handed form and states that this can only be seen by pure bhakti. This is the ultimate form. So let's shift on to reading the verses. First 4 verses, and let me just close this. And I'd like to welcome Shruti. Thank you so much, Shruti. And Purna Mataji is also with us today. So it's a double blessing, actually. We have two amazing personalities in one class, which is very rare actually. So thank you both of you. And Shruti actually teaches the Bhagavad Gita. A day before yesterday, she taught, and she's such a fantastic teacher. People are so inspired by her. So I'd like to thank you, Shruti, for being an inspiration to us.
Thank you. As always, thank you for the opportunity, Prabhuji. It's a blessing.
And we like devotees to read the English. So there's 4 verses we'll go through, and maybe we can ask Malini, would you like to read the English translations after Shruti has read the Sanskrit?
Sure, yes. I can do that. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. So Shruti, please, you're welcome to start.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. अथैकादशोऽध्यायः अर्जुन उवाच मदनुग्रहाय परमं गुह्यम् अध्यात्मसन्नितं यत्त्वयोक्तं वचस्तेन मोहोऽयं विगतो मम.
Should I?
Yes, please.
Arjuna Vacha Mad Anugrahaya Paramam Guhyam Adhyatma Samnitam Yat Tvayoktam Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama.
Okay, actually, Malini, you can read the English.
Oh, the translation?
Yeah, the translation, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. Actually, that was nice.
I'm sorry.
No, that was nice. It was nice. Yeah, thank you for doing that, actually. Interesting. Maybe a few sessions, maybe the next series, we might even do that. I like that idea. Thank you, Malini. But yeah, please, if you just read the English.
Okay. Arjuna said, by my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled.
भवाप्ययौ हि भूतानां श्रुतौ विस्तरशो मया त्वत्तः कमलपत्राक्ष माहात्म्यम् अपि चाव्ययम्.
O lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity and have realized your inexhaustible glories.
एवम् एतद्यथार्थत्वम् आत्मानं परमेश्वर द्रष्टुम् इच्छामि ते रूपम् ऐश्वरं पुरुषोत्तम.
O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours.
मन्यसे यदि तच्छक्यम् मया द्रष्टुमिति प्रभो योगेश्वर ततो मे त्वं दर्शयात्मानम् अव्ययम्.
If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self.
Thank you so much for reading those 4 verses. So here Arjuna is making a humble request to the Lord. Show him his universal form. He requests in a humble mood. And if we realize he's also not asking for anything material from the Lord, no material things. And this is the mood of the devotees. We don't want anything material from the Lord. That will automatically come. According to our karma, We will get whatever we are due. So why ask for something which is already going to come? Let's ask for something which nobody else can give. And actually what devotees pray for from the Lord is, please let me serve you. Let me do something for you. I want to serve you. I want to love you. Please let me love you. One may ask, why does Arjun make such a request to see his universal form? That's a really unusual request, right? Since he can see Krishna is completely satisfied. This was confirmed in the last chapter. He says to Krishna, I'm really completely convinced now of your divinity. But Arjun actually doesn't have any personal reason to see this universal form. He's requesting it for other reasons. He wants to prove without doubt Krishna's position as the source of everything, not for himself, but for us. He wants to set a standard for anyone in the future who claims to be God to show this opulence, right? And unfortunately, in this day and age, there's a so-called incarnation on almost every street corner, especially in our Bharatvarsh. People take advantage of the naivety sometimes of people. So these so-called incarnations and God-men claim to be the latest saviors of society, by dint of the fact that they have mustered up some popularity, or they can do some magical tricks. So they can easily convince somebody who's not so alert that they are more than they claim to be. So now the thing is, Krishna sets a standard here. If somebody claims to be God, let him show his universal form. And then, of course, he will say, oh, no, but you haven't got the eyes to see my universal form. So then give me the eyes. If you're God, give me the eyes. So people try to fool us, but we should not get fooled. We should not accept just anyone as God. There are many indications of a genuine incarnation. And what are these indications? They should be mentioned in the scriptures, and not just a short description. It's quite a lot is described in the scriptures about the incarnations. Their village of appearance is described. The parents are described. Their activities are described. So many different descriptions are given in the scriptures of incarnations of the Lord. So if they are in the scriptures, that's a very good sign. If they also perform astonishing activities, which help us understand that they are extraordinary personalities. So for example, Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill for 7 days, 7 nights with his left hand finger, little finger. They're accepted by the Guru and the devotees, Sadhu Shastra and Guru Sadhu Shastra. And they have special markings. So let's give examples of all this. How to distinguish the real avatars. They're predicted in the scriptures. And for example, we've been talking recently about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gauranga. His Janam Divas is on Sunday, Gaura Purnima. So we've been talking about him. And it's predicted in this Padma Purana, many, many scriptures about Gauranga. But we don't know him because he's hidden, his Gupt avatar. So because he's not advertising himself as God, but actually he comes as God, but in the form of a devotee to show us how to worship the Lord. And this verse is there. Kale Prathama Sandhyanam Gaura Gotham Mahitale Bhagirati Tate Ramai Bhavishyami Sachi Sutta. I shall take birth as a son of Sachi, assuming a golden form in a beautiful place on the bank of the Bhagirati, Ganga, on the earth in the first part of Kali Yuga. And that's exactly what it did. Over 500 years ago, in 1486, he appeared as the son of Sachi and Jagannath Misra on the banks of the Ganga and Navadvip, Mayapur. So this is a requirement. Anybody claims to be an avatar, what is the scripture injunction? Please show us. And there's another There's many scriptures he's described in the Garud Purana, the Nrsimha Purana, Vayu Purana, the Vishnu Sahasranam in the Mahabharata, and in the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, and in the Bhavishya Puran as well. So then we can have some faith that this is a person who is actually incarnation of God. He performs extraordinary activities like Govardhan Puja, like Govardhan Hill, lifting of the Govardhan. He gives divine knowledge, like Krishna is giving divine knowledge to Arjuna. But every avatar gives divine knowledge. Nrsimha avatar, we've been just talking about him in the 7th canto of the Srimad Bhagavad Puran. He's giving divine knowledge to Prahlad Maharaj. He shows his Virat Roop if he is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. This is the Virat Roop. It's a little indication of this incredible form which appears in this material world. And he always has a mission, particular mission when he descends. Isn't that he comes and enjoys with the women? Usually that's what happens. The God-man, they like to convince others that they're God, and they like to enjoy with women. But actually, Krishna, when he came, he fulfilled the desires of many living entities who wanted to be close to him. But he had a mission. He had a particular mission to fulfill, which he did. In fact, he has several missions to fulfill. And there are also bodily signs on the palms and the soles. This is an example of Krishna's lotus feet. There's different signs. There's the signs of the fish, the half moon, the temple, the umbrella, the conch, the bow, the Gomata's marks as well, for hoof prints, so many things, the Satyo, the lotus flower. So this is a sign that this is God, if he has such markings on his feet. We can't just accept blindly anybody as the Supreme Lord. So, and Krishna also explains, Govindamadi Purushottama. He also explains, Aham Sarvasvapabhavo. I am the source of all the spiritual and the material worlds. In the Bhagavatam, it's described, Krishna stu Bhagwan Swayam. Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of God. In the Ishwapanishad, it says, Ishwara Parama Krishna, Satchid Ananda Vigraha, Nadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. So this is really interesting. So that's the first theme. That's why Krishna is showing, why is Arjuna asking Krishna to show the universal form. So the next 10 verses we can go through. And who'd like to read? Anybody like to volunteer to read? The English.
I can read again.
Okay, why not? Why not? So, Shruti, please continue.
Yes, Prabhuji. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Pashya me Partha Rupani Shatashodha Sahasrashah Nana Vidhani Divyani Nana Varna Kriteni cha.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, O son of Partha, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of varied divine and multicolored forms.
Pashyadityan vasun rudran ashvinau marutastatha bahunyadrishta purvani Pashyascharyaani Bharata.
O best of the Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumaras, and all the other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before.
Ihaikastham jagat kritsnam pashyadya sacharacharam mama dehe gudakesha yachanyad ichhasi.
O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything, moving and non moving, is here completely in one place.
न न तु मां शक्यसे द्रष्टुम् अनेनैव स्वचक्षुषा दिव्यं ददामि ते चक्षुः पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम्.
But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence.
Sanjaya uvacha एवमुक्त्वा ततो राजन् महायोगेश्वरो हरिः दर्शयामास पार्थाय परमं रूपम् ऐश्वरम्.
Sanjaya said, O king, having spoken thus, the supreme lord of all mystic power, the personality of Godhead, displayed his universal form to Arjuna.
अनेकवक्त्रनयनम् अनेकाद्भुतदर्शनम् अनेकदिव्याभरणम् दिव्यानेकोद्यतायुधम्
Arjuna,
दिव्यमाम्बरधरम् दिव्यगन्धानुलेपनम् सर्वाश्चर्यमयम् देवम् अनन्तम् विश्वतोमुखम्.
Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine unpraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All were wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding.
दिवि सूर्यसहस्रस्य भवेद्युगपदुत्थिता यदि भासदृशी सा स्यात् भासस्तस्य महात्मनः.
If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form.
तत्रैकस्थं जगत्कृत्स्नं प्रविभक्तम् अनेकधा अपश्यद्देवदेवस्य शरीरे पाण्डवस्तदा.
At that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands.
ततः स विस्मयाविष्टो हृष्टरोमा धनञ्जयः प्रणम्य शिरसा देवं कृताञ्जलिर्भाषत.
Then, bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisance and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord.
Jay, thank you so much. So that's the end of the second theme. And let's have a little look at this second theme. Krishna grants Arjun's wish, shows his all-encompassing universal form. So there's a little bit of philosophy that we can just go through, which shows the inconceivability of the Lord. He is part of the universe, but at the same time, he's separate. This is the inconceivability of the Supreme Lord. While God is the source of this universe, he is simultaneously the universe itself in the sense that he's present within his own creation. And maybe to understand that, when we read somebody's writings, we may be able to understand a little bit about that person. So, for example, in an author's writing, you can probably understand something about him or her The effect, the writings tell us something about the cause, the author. So the book tells us something about who's written the book. So in that sense, the cause is present within the effect. So the cause, the author, is in the book in one sense. Similarly, God is the source of this world. Simultaneously, he creates this world, he's encompassing this world. That's the universal form. It's not that God is the sum of the parts. It's not that you put everything together and that's God. No, no, no. But rather, everything is actually contained within God. And in this form, he shows us this universal form. Arjuna sees that. He sees all the living beings, all material objects, and he sees the entirety of past, present, and future. This is quite an incredible form that Krishna shows, very bewildering. He doesn't show it just once, though. He's shown it several times in his pastime as Krishna on this earth 5,000 years ago. He showed it to Mother Yashoda twice. When he was a baby, he yawned once. Mother Yashoda looked into his mouth and she saw a partial universal form. She didn't see what Arjuna was seeing, but she saw the heavens and the stars and the oceans and all movable, unmovable things. And then again, when he ate dirt, when he did the pastime of eating dirt, which is a really humorous pastime. And at that time, Mother Yashoda instructed him to open his mouth, and he eventually did. And of course, when she looked inside, she saw another aspect of the universal form. And he also showed this when Krishna came to act as the messenger of peace in the court of the Kauravas. And at that time, Duryodhan was misbehaving, and he wanted to imprison Krishna. So at that time, Krishna showed his universal form. Not everybody could see it. He didn't want everybody to see this divine form of his. So there was Bhishma and the Dhritarashtra saw a partial vision of it. That's right. And then later, after the Mahabharata war, of course, in this war, he's showing this universal form to Arjuna. But even after the war, one incident took place with a sage called Uttanka. What happened was this sage was upset that this Mahabharata took place and so many lives were lost. And he said to Krishna, you could have stopped it. I'm going to curse you. And Krishna said, you can't curse me. I'm the Supreme Lord. It's going to have no impact on me. And then he showed Uttanka this universal form to convince him. So this is 5 times when Krishna has shown this form in this material world. So what's the lesson to learn from this theme? We should also have a very strong desire to have darshan of the Lord. Through the eyes, we have the deity form of the Lord. Like we were doing Aarti, we were seeing the deity form. Through our activities, we do bhakti, we do seva, without wanting anything back in return. We want to simply serve the Lord for his pleasure and nothing back in return. And that conquers the Lord, because the master, especially someone like Krishna, wants to reciprocate. But when the servant says, no, I don't want anything from you, Lord. I simply want to serve you. I simply want to love you. And Krishna is trying to find a way how to serve the devotee. And the devotee is avoiding any seva from the Lord. He just want to give seva. That conquers the Lord, because Krishna can't find a way to repay the service that the devotee is doing, because he's not a master who simply wants to take. Krishna wants to give much more than we can ever give. With his 1,000 hands, he can give us. How much are we going to accept with our 2 hands? So through the eyes, through our activities, through meditation, we serve him by chanting on his holy names. We specifically chant this Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. This mantra is regarded to be the topmost mantra. And it is the mantra that is regarded in this age of Kali Yuga to strongly connect us with the Supreme Lord. And finally, through our intelligence, how can we bring others also close to Krishna? Not by force, but by our loving mood, our loving attitude towards them. How can we bring somebody closer to Krishna? That we have to use our intelligence. So this is very important. We develop a desire to have darshan of the Lord, not just through our eyes, but through our activities, through our meditation and our intelligence. So everything we do can be connected and linked with the Supreme Lord. That way we have darshan of him all the time. We never separated from the Lord. This is very, very important. Even whilst living in this material world, we are connected with him through all of our activities and our intelligence, our meditation, and even through our eyes. So it's a very important part of the Bhagavad Gita to understand this. Okay, so let's have a look. What's the next? How many chapters? How many verses? Oh, quite a lot. So it's about 30 verses. So let's somebody else do. Karthik, would you like to read maybe 10 verses?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, great. So
Shreya.
Shruti will read the Sanskrit.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
May I continue, Prabhuji?
Pashyami Deva.
Yes, please.
No.
Yes, please.
Okay. Arjuna Uvacha Pashyami Devanstava Devadehe Sarvanstatha Bhuta Vishesha Sanghan Brahmanamisham Kamalasanastham Rishinscha Sarvanuragamscha Divyan.
Arjuna said, "My dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and all the sages and the divine serpents."
So Shruti, these are now in a different meter, huh?
Yes, Prabhuji.
These are challenging verses. So
Yeah,
very
of
nicely
course.
recited.
The language is becoming more complex, but I think this is a quite frequently occurring meter in other texts as well. I think we saw something similar to this in the Narayana Kavacham.
That's correct. Yes, very good. This is like the Bhagavatam. Yes.
Yes, and it occurs very frequently. In fact, it's a recurring theme throughout this text called the Srimad Narayaniyam.
Okay.
I will talk about it maybe in when I get a chance to talk about Guruvayur, maybe sometime in the future soon. But for now, I'll just say that the Narayaniyam is a condensed form of the Bhagavatam.
Okay.
It's a compilation of, I think, 1034 verses.
Right.
Spread across 100 chapters.
Right.
So yeah, this is a meter that occurs frequently throughout. So I grew up listening to my mother and my aunt chanting the verses in this meter. So
very good.
That is awesome.
It is really good, really good. And I'd like you to do the seminars on Guruvayur soon, huh? So,
yeah, yes, Prabhuji. That's something I really, but I want to. That's something that I really want to do. But there's so much to.
but you can
say,
take your
there's
time.
so much.
No, you can take it. You can do it over many weeks. No problem.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, sure, Prabhuji. We'll do that. Okay, I'll proceed.
Yes, please.
अनेकबाहूदरवक्त्रनेत्रं पश्यामि त्वां सर्वतो अनन्तरूपं नान्तं न मध्यं न पुनस्तवादिं पश्यामि विश्वेश्वर विश्वरूप.
O Lord of the universe, O universal form, I see in your body many, many arms, bellies, mouths, and eyes, expanded everywhere without limit. I see in you no end, no middle, and no beginning.
किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रिणं च तेजोराशिं सर्वतो दीप्तिमन्तं पश्यामि त्वां दुर्निरीक्ष्यं समन्ताद् दीप्तान् अलार्कद्युतिम् अप्रमेयम्.
Your form is difficult to see because of its glaring effulgence, spreading on all sides like blazing fire or the immeasurable radiance of the sun. Yet I see this glowing form everywhere, adorned with various crowns, clubs, and discs.
त्वम् अक्षरं परमं वेदितव्यं त्वमस्य विश्वस्य परं निधानम् त्वमव्ययः शाश्वतधर्मगोप्ता सनातनस्त्वं पुरुषो मतो मे.
You are the supreme primal objective. You are the ultimate resting place of all this universe. You are inexhaustible and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. And this is my opinion.
अनादिमध्यान्तम् अनन्तवीर्यम् अनन्तबाहुं शशिसूर्यनेत्रम् पश्यामि त्वां दीप्तहुताशवक्त्रम् स्वतेजसा विश्वमिदं तपन्तम्.
You are without origin, middle, or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms, and the sun and moon are your eyes. I see you with blazing fire coming forth from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance.
द्यावा पृथिव्योरिदमन्तरं हि व्याप्तं त्वयैकेन दिशश्च सर्वाः दृष्ट्वाद्भुतं रूपम् उग्रं तवेदं लोकत्रयं प्रव्यथितं महात्मन्.
Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between. O Great One, seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed.
अमीहि त्वां सुरसङ्घा विशन्ति केचिद्भीताः प्राञ्जलयो गृह्णान्ति स्वस्तीत्युक्त्वा महर्षिसिद्धसङ्घाः स्तुवन्ति त्वां स्तुतिभिः पुष्कलाभिः.
All the hosts of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them, very much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. Hosts of great sages and perfected beings, crying, All peace, are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns.
रुद्रादित्या वसवो ये च साध्या विश्वेश्विनौ मरुतश्चोष्मपाश्च गन्धर्वयक्षासुरसिद्धसङ्घा वीक्षन्ते त्वां विस्मिताश्चैव सर्वे.
All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Vishvedevas, the two Ashvis, the Maruts, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder.
Thank you so much, Karthik. You got such a good voice. You're going to have to be speaking soon,
I'm more a singer, Guruji. So that
Very
is
good. Very good. So I don't know if Shavi is around. Maybe she's still studying. Otherwise,
Yeah, Prabhuji, if you don't mind, I can do the English.
Okay,
reading.
fantastic. Fantastic. So, yes, you can go right up to 31. So that's fine. So, Shruti, please continue.
रूपं महत्ते बहुवक्त्र नेत्रं महाबाहो बहुबाहुरूपादं बहूदरं बहुदंष्ट्राकरालं दृष्ट्वा लोकाः प्रव्यथितास्तथाहम्.
One second, I'll just open it in my book. Please give me 1 second. We are on text 23. O mighty armed one, all the planets with the demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form, with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I.
नभः स्पृशं दीप्तमनेकवर्णं व्यात्ताननं दीप्तविशालनेत्रं दृष्ट्वा हि त्वां प्रव्यथितान्तरात्मा धृतिं न विन्दामि शमं च विष्णो.
O all-pervading Vishnu, seeing you with your many radiant colors touching the sky, your gaping mouths and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind.
दंष्ट्राकरालानि च ते मुखानि दृष्ट्वैव कालान्नलसन्निभानि दिशो न जाने न लभे च शर्म प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास.
O Lord of Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth. In all directions, I am bewildered.
अमी च त्वां धृतराष्ट्रस्य पुत्राः सर्वे सहैवावनिपालसङ्घैः भीष्मो द्रोणः सूतपुत्रस्तथासौ सहास्मदीयैरपि योधमुख्यैः वक्त्राणि ते त्वरमाणा विशन्ति दंष्ट्राकरालानि भयानकानि केचिद् विलग्ना दशनान्तरेषु सन्दृश्यन्ते चूर्णितैरुत्तमाङ्गैः.
All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with the allied kings, and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief soldiers also, are rushing into your fearful mouths. And some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth.
यथा नदीनां बहवो अम्बुवेगाः समुद्रमेवाभिमुखा द्रवन्ति तथा तवामि नरलोकवीरा विशन्ति वक्त्राण्यभिविज्वलन्ति ज्वलन्ति.
As the many waves of the rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouths.
यथा प्रदीप्तं ज्वलनं पतङ्गा विशन्ति नाशाय समृद्धवेगाः तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकास्तवापि वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगाः.
I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths as moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire.
लेह्यसे ग्रसमानः समन्ताल्लोकान् समग्रान् वदनैर्ज्वलद्भिः तेजोभिरापूर्य जगत्समग्रं भासस्तवोग्राः प्रतपन्ति विष्णो.
O Vishnu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouths, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible, scorching rays.
आख्याहि मे को भवान् उग्ररूपो नमोऽस्तु ते देववर प्रसीद विज्ञातुम् इच्छामि भवन्तम् आद्यं न हि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिम्.
O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me.
Mm.
You are the primal Lord. I want to know about you, for I do not know what your mission is.
Thank you so much, both of you, Shruti and Puna. Puna Mataji, well done. Very, very nicely read. And these are challenging verses in terms of the Sanskrit. And here, Arjun is also having a challenging time. I don't know what you want to do. So I think we're going to have to probably stop here in terms of, we'll just do a quick description of this theme. But I think the next part, we will, next week, we'll take the rest of the chapter. Is that okay, Shruti?
Yes, of course, probably, because there are still around, I think, 25 verses to go.
Correct.
Total of 56.
Yeah,
Yeah.
55. I think. This is a big chapter, but not just big in terms of number, but in terms of the size of the verses. It's very, very nicely, you really beautifully recited, by the way. So thank you so much. Fantastic. So let's have a quick look at this theme. Very interesting, because here Arjun falteringly prays to this universal form, awed by the greatness of Krishna. He begs forgiveness for having treated him with familiarity and friendship. This happens. And I remember with my own spiritual master, when you're serving him closely over years, you become a little bit familiar in the sense that you become close to him and you almost start to regard the person as an ordinary person, but actually he's your spiritual master. So you shouldn't forget that that connection, that formal connection. Otherwise, that familiarity can lead to having perhaps a little mood which is not quite correct in terms of spiritual connection. So Arjun is asking for forgiveness. Now, most religious traditions, they don't go beyond this majestic understanding of God, right? God, like Allah, God is great. God is the creator. God is all-knowing, omnipresent, omniscient, infallible. This often leads to a fearful exchange with God, right? So we become scared of the Lord. It lacks any intimacy, any sweetness, any personal relationship. And it also leads to not understanding him. Like here, we see Arjun. He's seeing the greatness of the Lord and suddenly he's lost all composure. So we should be very clear about the mission of the Lord. We should also understand, before we go into what is the mission, what is our mission, what is his mission, that God is a person, a very sweet person. He's great as well. From his greatness, we can appreciate his majesty, but we'll not be able to love him because if we only see his majesty and not his sweetness, how can we love him? But God is very, very sweet at the same time. And it's that sweetness which he wants us to taste freely. And there's nobody who is stopped from doing that. It's ourselves who have to become inspired and want to attain to understand that sweetness by which we fall in love with God. Instead of being scared of God, we shouldn't be scared of God. God is our friend. God is our lover. God is our everything. And it's that intimacy which he also relishes from his own devotees. He loves being treated like a son by Mother Yashoda, where chased after by her with a stick. He loves it. Of course, we have to have the correct mood, the correct purity in order to gain that sort of situation or status. So let's understand what is our mission, what is his mission. This is really nice, clear explanation of why we are in this world. What are we doing here? After many, many lifetimes, we finally got a human body. That this is very, very rare. We should understand that having this human form is a great facility for us to become close to God. It's such a rare thing, but it's very temporary and it can be destroyed at any time. And we were reading how Prahlad Maharaj was saying, for 50 years of our life, we sleep 12 hours a day. In the early life, we sleep lots. Later, we sleep less. In the later life, we'll sleep lots again. So half of our life will go in sleep. The other half goes in playing or working or enjoying our senses or wasting our time. So we got to be so careful with our time management. Use this body, which is very rare, very temporary, can be destroyed at any time. Use it in order to become close to God, understanding who we are, who He is. That can take place at any moment. We cannot guarantee we go to sleep and wake up. One of our trustees, Ian Lynch, his wife's cousin, only 24, went to sleep one night and did not wake up the next morning. This is a real life example. Only happened about a week ago. So it really does happen. That can take place at any moment. We're living as if we will never die. But actually, death can take place at any moment. Now, that's not a pessimistic view. That's a realistic view. It should inspire us to become more spiritual. Because when we become spiritual, then actually death does not take place because the Atma never dies. The association of devotees, have company of devotees, have this bhakti, the seed of bhakti implanted within us. These are very rare things. If we have these two things, bhakti and sadhu sang, and we take shelter of Bhagavad Gita, chant God's names, then everything else is detail. If we can just simply keep association of devotees, do some bhakti, read the Bhagavad Gita, chant the holy names, then we will have fulfilled our mission. And that mission is exactly the same as the Lord's. The Lord's mission is to reconnect us with Him. He wants us back with Him in His world, associating with Him. Our impurities, because of our impurities, we need to hear this message over and over again and again. But this is a very clear message of the Bhagavad Gita. It's a very clear message of the Srimad Bhagavad Puran. All the holy scriptures will give us this same information. This human life is very rare. Make use of it. Do bhakti. Don't ask anything in return from the Lord. We don't want anything from Him. We simply want to serve Him. If we get that mood right, then He will take care of everything that we need. He says that in the Bhagavad Gita as well. For my devotee, I look after what he has and I give him what he doesn't have. But we don't want anything from him. I want to stop there and ask if any devotees have any questions, anything that's not clear from what we've explained, or it doesn't make sense, or some clarification, or if you'd like to share anything that you have experienced yourself in your own spiritual journey. And I'm happy for you to share anything that you'd like as well. Any questions, any comments? Purna Mataji, you usually have something you'd like to inquire.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, well, this time I don't have many questions, but I can say this is my mom's favorite chapter.
Why?
So,
Why is it her favorite chapter?
because here Krishna gives, Vishwarup Darshan,
Okay.
and then she explains, that how Arjun is, blinded by his Vishwarup, and he says, "Come back to your normal form, please." So yeah, so she does mention about this. She's like, I really like this chapter more than any others.
Okay. Very interesting. Very good. Very good. Thank you for sharing that.
you,
Anybody
Prabhuji.
else? Karthik, any questions, any comments? Or Malini, so nice you joined us.
Prabhu Saha.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Saha?
Yeah, my mom also like this chapter. He told me to read this chapter, and she liked it.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah,
And why she liked it?
she liked because when she was here, my daughter show her the all the picture, I mean, video, DVD video. She saw the Vishwarup and everything, so she liked that, the Vishwarup.
Fantastic.
All the time. She
Okay.
told me, they read it, tell me, and that many times.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing. And Karthik?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
What do you
As
think?
usual, really enjoyed this session.
Thank you so much.
Shruti makes it even more enjoyable. Because I try and follow and try and say what she's saying in the
Yes.
verse, and I'm trying to get into this routine myself.
Fantastic.
Slowly, surely getting there.
Yeah. Now she's extraordinary. As is Puna Mata. They both are, when they recite, you think, wow, amazing.
Nice.
Thank you so much. If there's no questions or comments, we can stop there.